guys. Hey, welcome to Sewing News Live. I'm Angela Wolf, and I am meeting you from the very, very, very cold Michigan, along with a lot of other people. I thought that maybe I would take you for a snowmobile ride, and then we could make a snow fort, but it's too cold out there. So I am officially in my she shed right now, and it's nice and warm, and I could probably stay here for about 3 days. So welcome, pop in, say hi. I see you all rolling in already. I have a great show for you today. You know that It's So Easy has been on for, let's see, we're getting ready to tape season 17 next week. Can you believe that? 17. I'm still shocked about it myself. So behind me on the sewing table are all of the projects for this year. I have 8 episodes to prepare for. And many of you have asked, do you tape all this in one day? Do you tape all this in a week? Do you tape this once a week all year? Well, the entire show is taped during a 1-week period. So that's all the guests that arrive, that's all the episodes, and there's a handful of people that do the magic on this. And today I have Mike Murphy, who is one of the producers, director, along with Kathy Stoll. Kathy couldn't make it. She had something going on today, but I'm very excited to have Mike. Mike is one of the first people I ever met on this set when I auditioned, and we'll talk about that. But I'm going to bring Mike on here, and we're going to talk about prepping for It's So Easy, how the show has evolved, other shows that he works on, Brother sponsors, It's So Easy, Make It Artsy. Brother sponsors this Facebook Live show, and I'm a brand ambassador for full disclosure. All right, guys. Hey, you guys, I see you all rolling in. Arnell. Yvette says, that's a bit. Yes, I agree. Marcella's in Texas. Peg's in Frozen, Ohio. That's where Mike is. He said it's not as cold as here, though. Okay, you guys, you ready? Let's bring Mike on. Let's not make him wait any longer. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Angela. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, we're so excited. So everyone,
first-time caller.
Oh my gosh, everyone, give Mike the heart emoji and tell him that you are so excited that he's taking the time to spend with us today, because this guy is a busy guy.
Well, it's all due to my craft expertise. I'm always doing something in the sewing business. So
I know. So I have to tell everyone, the first time I met you, well, let's see, if we're taping season 17, is that 8 years ago?
Yeah, it was 8 years ago. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, 2011, 2010, something like that, yeah.
So they were in a different studio. Mike has this room with 1 million TV screens, maybe not 1 million, but about 10, 12, something like that, a lot. And he's monitoring all of the cameras that come in. So when I first met him, I was auditioning for It's So Easy. I had met Kathy, and she said, would you like to audition for a sewing show? And I said, well, I don't do quilting, because that's all I thought was out there. And she said, no, this will be garment sewing. So Wynn and I drove in a December, very cold December day to your studio, and I auditioned. I'd never been on camera before. I was designing clothes for people nonstop. I thought, this will be a fun gig. Let's try it. And that's when I first met you, and Wynn sat on your official couch. Remember?
That's a long time ago, yeah, because we've had, people, a lot of people have come through our studios, both the original one in Beechwood, Ohio, now we're in Solon, Ohio, and we saw a lot of people, and when they come to audition, sometimes they wind up there in tears, or they run out screaming, but you did really, really well. You were a natural at it, and I had no idea that you'd never done it before. I thought this is some, Hollywood movie star or some sort is shown up who also sews. And
I love you, Mike.
you landed right there on your feet. So the rest is history. So you've just gotten better at it, but you were pretty good at it right out of the gate.
I was so nervous. So I'll share something with you that I have kept quiet for a lot of years. I do have photos somewhere, which I won't be sharing here to thousands of people that sew, but the day before that audition, I was out fishing on the river where it was snowing with my husband, and we were fishing with, we're fishing for steelhead, and my line had a little weight on it. Well, it was dark still, and he said, reel that in and give the rod a jerk. Well, he didn't realize I'd already reeled it in quite far, and I gave the rod a jerk, and this sinker came through the air, knocked me in the head, knocked me on the ground. I laid on the ground for 2 hours, rubbing my head on the steelhead. I had a golf ball on my head. Everyone was like, you got to cancel. And I was just ready to cut bangs and I left for the show and it went away. But that would have been, you would have been like, what is wrong with her head?
Yeah, no, that I didn't know that. I didn't know that had happened. But
now that you know me, though, it wouldn't have surprised you, probably.
No, that you. But what it also wouldn't surprise me is that you would push through, even though you've got some kind of major bump on your head. Killing all the phones there. But yeah, I had no idea about that. I'd like to see that picture sometime.
That picture's in the archives and might come out on my 100th birthday if I live that long. Otherwise, it'll come out when I'm dead because it's so bad.
When you write your book about your life as Angela Wolf, because I mean, because so many people are just amazed, like sewing maven, TV person, and fish, the way you fish. So,
hey, Mike.
There's Tim Stahl has just stepped into the
Hey, Tim, how are you?
We're live with Angela Wolf.
Now, this is coming in here to tell him to get back to work.
Hi, Tim.
He's also a part of the group that owns the studio, and so he's here, doing something. But we are getting ready for It's So Easy. We'll be having you here next week.
So, Mike, I got to ask you a couple questions. How long you've been doing this? You and Kathy. That was Kathy's husband. For those of you that don't know that. You guys have been working together for what? About 20 years?
We've been together about 18 to 20 years. Something like that, and we've done all types of crafting shows. We do a majority of it as sewing related. We have sewing, quilting. We've done a knitting show, a baking show. We've done paper products, mixed media, and just everything under the sun when it comes to crafting. We've done quite a few different things.
So there's a couple things about that, by the way, that really stick in my head, especially after working with you for so many years. Sewing is a beast of its own. So is all of the other crafting shows. You have to know where you're looking. So you can't just be, you have to know what you're doing.
Well, one of the major things of working at this studio is we make it an efficient shoot week. Like you were saying, how you're able to shoot your 13 shows in the space of a week is because we have a crew of people who worked with us, alongside of us in this craft industry and the majority of sewing, who know what they need to do to make things happen. So between the talented instructors we have, like yourself and Joanne Banco and some of the other people, I'm sure I'm forgetting people. Everyone knows their craft real well, and then we have to know the sewing nuts and bolts of what it takes, what the viewer wants to view in a sewing show. So that's one of the things we've learned over 20 years of working together, and it flows together pretty smoothly.
Well, actually, Joanne just popped in here to say hi. Great to see us. So that is one of the things. And when I watch the shows back, it's almost like magic, where you could say, hey, check this out and look at this. And the camera's right there. So if you don't know what you're looking at, you can forget it. And you're looking at all these screens. Usually we have sometimes 3 cameramen, sometimes 3 cameramen with 5 cameras. I mean, we've got a lot going on there.
Oh, yeah. So we have that overhead jib camera who's getting all our aerial kind. He's moving around the studio as you're talking. See, that's a big part of what the talent has to be able to, for you to talk to a lens as people are moving around while you're working. They're moving around and cameras are swinging around and people are doing 101 things. But we have our overhead camera guy. He's been with Kathy too in the sewing and craft industry. He comes from Milwaukee. He's been doing it for 30 years probably of sewing and craft related video and TV. And so just everybody knows. So we do that quick run through with you before you do your segment, and you say, I'm going to go here, here, and here, and here. And then we're like, we got you covered, and we'll follow you. And we can, by now, by the tone of your voice, I can tell where you're going to go. Where, like, okay, she's done there, and I'm making a switch to my next camera to get you from in front to the side where there's a sewing machine, or even on the side where the serger sewing machine. So your ability to operate all the machines and do the TV part makes it easier for us to do it.
But not only that, I always call the big jib over my head. All of a sudden I'll be sewing and I'll turn around and it's like right here. I call it my spaceship.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah, but we also have an earpiece in where Kathy's counting down time, or if she sees that you forgot something, or she has a suggestion. So you're listening, talking, watching. It's called multitasking from somewhere.
Yeah. And that's the thing people don't realize about the it's called IFB. It's interconnected foldback, and so the producer is able to tell you time, or pick that up, or say you've got the iron facing toward a light, and it's being a big shine, you'll turn it, and you know that really saved us. That wireless IFB it saves us in a lot of segments, because then we don't have you missing something because you forgot, or somebody forgot something. They hear in their ear, oh yeah, you forgot to talk about that stitch, or you forgot to talk about that thread. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot. And then they go in and grab it, and it's all so smooth, you never know. Yeah. That's how TV's done.
Unless it falls out of your ear, down your shirt, which happened to me. Do you ever keep any of those bloopers? Because I remember one time I was going on, and I thought, man, I got a lot of time here. Well, the earpiece had fallen in my shirt. I didn't know it, and I just kept going.
Yeah, well, that happens. We don't. We have the bloopers somewhere, but that happens too, and then we'll just stop you. But the key to the whole thing is we are doing a live edit of the segments, so then we don't have to then edit the segment again when we go to put it into a show format. The segment exists as a 12 minutes of you doing it, what you're doing, whatever you're making in that, that segment. And then we just slip it in, and there's like your name gets put on it, and a little intro graphic thing, and the shows pop together. I'm making it sound a little easier than it is to put them together, but they just do come together because we're doing that all live editing, and that just comes from, knowing what you're going to do. I know what you're going to do. You know what I'm going to do, and together it all happens.
It is amazing, and there are more people than that. There's we got the guy, Brian. I mean, there's probably a dozen people that work for every. Yeah,
on the shoot. And then when you look at the end of a TV show, you'll see that roll of credits, and you'll be like, I wonder what all those guys do. Well, we're at a smaller level, but there's an audio guy, there's somebody who's timing the shows, there's the producer, there's the person, there's the from the company is here. We have 4 cameramen. We have someone on the prompter. Yeah. We have several people in the green room. That's the prep area. They're doing prep. We have someone making lunch. We have someone getting breakfast. There's a lot going on. Then there's makeup. You have makeup in the morning. Yeah. So there's a lot happening on the day when we have the shoots, where so much so that we overflow the parking lot and we get yelled at by our neighbors that we're taking up someone else's parking spot. So that's what happens during a shoot week. Then after the shoot week, we put together all the pieces. There's another woman who edits the shows herself. That's her specific thing. Sherry edits the shows, and then I do any other special kind of editing projects of we do all the Instagrams and social media platform things where you promo the upcoming segments that'll run that week of the show, that kind of stuff. And then any type of, we've also had you here where you've done those features on a Brother Machine where we just had you, okay, Angela, point.
I think I have shown putting in a bobbin, taking out a bobbin probably 400 times. Someone said, how do you do it so fast? I think I have done it about 400 times.
I do it for a living.
I just have a request for brother. Don't ever change it, or I'm going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, so that's the shoot week, and that's how we make it all get over to create PBS Create or Create TV.
Says, the camera guys do an awesome job for the viewers. Carrie says, y'all are just great multitasking match, kind of like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I never thought about that. And Cindy says, I don't know if I could talk with another person in my head.
Well, it's funny because we'll drop that on people who've never done it before, and they'll answer, Kathy. Kathy would be like, okay, don't forget to do that. They'll be like, okay. And then like, we can say okay too.
That is so true. Oh gosh, that's funny.
Get better and better at it. You do it more often, and Julie Faith Van Balzer, she does it often, so she's real good at it, and it's a real plus to have it. You really need to have it to make the show go smoothly. Well,
how many shows do you guys do now a year? Because Kathy got a great award, was that 2 years ago, for the shows that you guys are producing for PBS, yeah. And that's huge. And that's like, for you guys are doing just a great job, but you do a lot of shows.
Yeah, we do like probably 7 shows, 6 or 7 shows, and so each show shoots twice a year, and then there's the editing and everything. So it fills up the year, because then from that we'll get other things like those feature videos we did. That whatever open time, we'll fill that in with doing videos. We've done a lot of stuff for Scan and Cut. We just did, we did videos with Julie for the Scan and Cut, the SDX 125 and 225. So I know all about that too. The Scan and Cut. I love the Scan and Cut too.
I love the Scan and Cut, especially the new one, because with the auto blade, forget screwing up the mats anymore. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I heard Julie when she was on Home Shopping, and I heard her doing her bit, and I heard it kind of giving her a little trouble, and I could tell it was, and she covered it, and they rolled B-roll, and she pulled it off like a champ. You never would have known anything was not perfect, but Scan and Cut. So we do those feature videos for all those things,
which is great. And so that's a lot of the videos that a lot of you guys, the viewers, are watching on YouTube. PBS and Crate TV are the shows, but then they're on YouTube, and then a lot of them are being shared on social media nowadays. The technology now has made it so easy to get the word out about a show. I was thinking back for It's So Easy, I think just in year number 3, it had already reached everywhere. I mean,
oh yeah, it's a great show. You can tell. I mean, it's got a lot of good content, and then that always makes people glom onto it. They want to see what it is we're talking about, what it is you're doing, and stuff like that. And because it's a style-setting kind of show. But now with Facebook, Instagram, and all those different social media platforms, we're able to plug these things. People not only see the show on Create, but then they see all the segments, YouTube, and then all the websites from the companies all grab their videos and they put them on there. So the videos are a lot of places. You can.
Well, the other thing is when it's on It's So Easy TV on their website, it's on every week as an older episode. Not older, but I always laugh because it really, except for the machines changing, sewing really doesn't get old. There might be a few new tools, but you can go back to. I probably won't watch season 1 or 2 because I talked way too fast. But other than that, but they're live stream on Amazon now. I mean, they're pretty much anywhere you want to watch, you can watch it.
Oh yeah, and I mean it's great for everybody. I mean, the shows are about. I remember on one of our baking shows, I said to the host, I said to her, boy, I got that pan and I was able to make that pretty easily. And she goes, that's what these shows are about. Getting that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, they're there to simplify your life and to say, oh, that's how that works. And, it shows you, with the proper equipment, you can do a lot of stuff.
Well, the other thing is I hear a lot of people say, I wish the shows were longer. Well, it's every week, and PBS has very strict rules on how long they can be. It's just like any other show during the week. I wish American Idol would last 5 hours at the end, or maybe at the beginning too. But but the thing is that now with social media, with blogging, vlogging, things like that, us as an instructor can share the main part on the TV show and then give more details in a vlog later on or a Facebook Live and help out in other areas that could be longer.
Well, this show that you've created here, I mean, one feeds off the other, and then the other feeds off that one, and then it's, a circular thing, and then people learn from you, and then they learn who you are, and it just, if you are interested in sewing, I mean, it's a good time to learn it. You can learn it in a lot of places.
Right. We did a PBS, oh gosh, what do you call that when you donate money?
Oh,
Pledge. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
My local studio did a PBS pledge here. It wasn't nationally, but and it was all approved, and we went through with it. And then the guy from PBS said, "Hey, do you this is really great. Do you want to come on our cooking with a book show?" And I was like, cooking? That probably would not be my forte.
Oh,
I
wish you would have done that. You should have done. I mean, because then they bring a cook with you, and then you just got to stand there and point like, "Oh yeah, pepper." You know, like,
I could do that. I thought
right, I think you'd be fine. Whenever your TV part comes in, you don't have to know how to cook. I don't know how to sew, but I can tell you what will work.
Okay, maybe I'll rethink that then. I never thought about that.
Oh, call me next time. I'll go on for you.
So, hey, Mike, what is your, do you have any favorite memory or funniest show or anything that sticks in your mind as one of the funniest things that has happened on set of It's So Easy, particularly, or if you have a different one that sticks out in your head?
Well, one time, It's So Easy is pretty cut and dried. I mean, we really kind of worked pretty hard on that. I mean, you know, nothing crazy happens as much on It's So Easy as one time on our baking show, which we had, that one was sponsored by Wilton, and we had one of the hosts was from Wilton, and one was this little woman from Kentucky. She was Miss Kentucky 1989. And so she had to cut into a cake, but we thought was thawed, which was not thawed. It was frozen. She hit that cake, and it nearly flipped her over. But the thing is, as like you would do, just kept working this thing, like stop, stop, stop. So then we had Big Billy O'Boyle. He couldn't even cut this thing. So we had to bring in a torch to melt the cake down so we could actually get into this cake. But that was about the greatest because she went fly. She hit that thing and went tipping over. But no, that was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good one.
That's a good one. Liz wants to know, do the DVDs come with bloopers and deleted scenes? No, but they should, because that would be a really good sell on there.
That we'll have to run that by the corporate on that one somehow. Yeah.
I think for my funniest memories, well, I have quite a few, but one that really stands out was it was like a bawling week, and then bawling as in crying, and a laughing. That, I mean, I was pretty tired because we taped for like 4 days straight. This was when I taped half a days, and Mike was there, and we're all in there. June Mellinger was there, and she had this bag that she filled with, oh gosh, June, if you're on here, they were like marbles or something, and she's like, you just sew it together and you put it together and all the marbles in, and look, it's all good. And she went like this. And all over the place, all over.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a few of those things happen.
That was one. And then the other memorable one was when I was doing the episode with you where we were talking about how to start your own home-based fashion design business with my book, which I was totally fine. But, okay, I'll say it without bawling, but I brought the book that my grandparents had just passed away. I dedicated the book to them. So I had the book that I had actually signed to them. I didn't know I had that. So I handed it to you, and I opened the page. Oh, that was it. Meltdown City. And your whole crew was like,
I all ducked their heads. I'm like, oh, God. I was like, there's no sewing, and there's no crying and sewing.
And I was trying to hold it in. I wasn't breathing, and I was just like turning redder and redder.
Yeah, I was going to mention that one too when you said that. I'm like, you might not want to talk about that one.
And so I think everyone thought I had a complete meltdown.
Yeah, they did.
I on the book and saw that it was to my grandparents, and it was like all the memories are flooding back. Like, you know, I'm over here because of like their support and all this. It was meltdown city. So that was crying, and then the thing with all the marbles like 10 minutes later. So it was all good.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun on it. We do have a lot of fun doing the show. I didn't know that was why you were crying. I was like, she must really be tired. I'm not going to ask her.
That is why. That is why.
Now I know that. Okay. That was pretty crazy. That one. That was when something like that happens, and every so often, you know, something wild happens like that. In my broadcast career, I did a commercial one time for a for it was an appliance store, a short-lived appliance store, and this theme of they had a live pig in the studio, and they had a guy talking, and he says, if our prices aren't the best, that pig will fly. And so the pig just kept walking. He had fairy wings on him. And the pig kept walking. So to keep him under control, they gave him Benadryl. And right at the last take, the pig walked over and fell. Boom! That was pretty good. So you never want to work with children or pigs in fairy wings. So
okay, that's funny.
yeah, that was a good one. That's
a very good one.
I've done it, about 30 plus years in the TV biz. So I've been seeing some silly thing, some things that people have asked us to do that we were like, I don't know if that's going to work. We still did it anyway. So.
I can always read your face when you're thinking, is that going to work? Are you sure? Because you'll just kind of go, okay.
And then I turn around and I say to the camera guys, is that going to work? And they go, okay.
Oh gosh. Well, before you did It So Easy, did you do other mainstream shows?
Well, I worked at a place. It was a production house, and I mostly edited, and I did commercials and more corporate TV, but a lot of commercials like we were part of Every Kiss Begins with K, all that stuff, because that's a Northeast Ohio company, and Progressive Insurance, and that's a Northeast Ohio company. Just not because they came to see me, but it's because they were in Northeast Ohio.
Right.
And no, it wasn't until I was working with Kathy Stahl that I started to do more broadcast television stuff. It was mostly commercials and corporate internal stuff, with the large corporations around that, Goodyear, people like that.
So is It So Easy one of the longest standing shows that you've produced as far as on PBS, or have there been some others? I mean, Julie's is Make It Artsy's been on there a long time too.
Yeah. No, It's So Easy, probably that in Quilting Arts is another one that has been on that's probably been 11 years, Quilting Arts. And then we had done America Sews with Sue Hausman. We had done that. That was on not just with us, but totally like 26 years or something like that.
That was on a long time. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, Sue Hausman's show, we did that too. So we've been around a long time, but It's So Easy is probably second, in the Quilting Arts one has probably got a year on it. So you're one of the long timers.
Which is great. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. So, the funny part is after I got the show, I still kept doing my fashion design business and running my business and didn't think anything of it. And then a couple years into it, people didn't want to buy my clothes. They want to make my clothes. So I transitioned into selling patterns, and I've completely changed my business because of this show into the home sewing market and still fashion design, but now it's for the sewers. And it's because of this show, or else I would still be designing clothes for...
Well, that's what we like to do. We make dreams come true here in Southern Ohio.
I agree. A dream I didn't even know I had. But I love it. I have to say, when I travel around and people tell me that it's so easy, there'll be ladies that it's on at 6 a.m. and they're like, I'm up. My husband has a cup of coffee for me. And I'm like, why don't you DVR it? Heck no, I'm not missing it. You know what? That's awesome. I think it's just...
That's fun. I'm glad.
And there are a lot of husbands that watch the show because I hear that they're making the coffee for their wives. Some of them like to sew, and some of them want to hear if I'm going to do anything about fishing, which is pretty hilarious.
There you go. Right. Your fishing sideline always... floors, because then I love when I see you down there in Florida and you're handling those marlins that are bigger than you are. That you're fishing for down there, and there you are. We're up here freezing, and you're on a boat somewhere trying to fish. So that's
a little while, but I did learn a trick from you, Mike. A couple tricks that you've taught me through the years. Well, first off, my whole setup is because I followed what you have with my lighting and all that stuff. But I also know if I hold the fish out further away from my body, it looks much bigger.
Yeah, right. There's that. Yes.
And I've learned to use different angles on my camera by watching what you edit and by watching what's important. You've taught me so much. In fact, all of the videos that I do for myself for YouTube, where I'm not taping with you because they're just short, brief ones that are, just quick, easy videos. The only reason of the angles that I have 2 or 3 cameras with just me is because of what I've learned from you. So I have to say thank you for that.
That's awfully nice of you to say it. I'm you're giving me much more credit than I deserve. But you're a great student, and like I told you, when I saw you walk in the door, who knows if you're going to go running, screaming, but you did, like I said, you hit the ground running, and you've not turned back. So that has been, it always helps to have a student who is anxious to learn and doesn't think it's too hard to just keep learning and doing more. So it's great. Thank you.
It's my favorite time of the year. 2 times a year to tape this. It's so easy. And I'll see you next week. And I'm so glad that we didn't do it this week because I would not be coming. Well, they actually closed the toll road, so I wouldn't be coming for real. But
Right.
I remember Lynn from Coates and Clark, she's a sponsor of the show as well. And she said, that's it. I'm never coming on a February again. You have to tape all my stuff in June because she's from North Carolina. Yeah.
Right.
Every time I show up, there's a snowstorm. So I had to laugh because if it had been this week, Lynn would have been like, forget it.
Right. Yeah, she would have to buy a house here or something because she wasn't traveling. And we just had some people from the south, and it just started a few little flakes, and they were like going beside themselves. So it's tough doing anything in the wintertime, and it just is.
Well, I think I was talking to Cindy. Cindy Hogan was on the show one time, and she pulled out to tape it so easy, pulled out of the airport and totaled her rental car before she even got out. It slid right into one of those like side things.
Yeah, it's not easy to know how to drive in the snow. You just got to take it easy, but some people it's not their cup of tea. So I don't know.
I don't want to keep you too much longer, but there's a lot of people in here complimenting you. I'll go back and answer their questions. Everybody's saying they want bloopers.
well, that's something we'll have to put that on.
We'll have to keep those. So do you have any advice for someone who would either like to come on a show themselves or start their own PBS show? Do you have any, just a few tips for them for where they should start looking, or what, besides calling you and Kathy?
Well, the key is to find a subject that they're good at, that they can do, like sewing or paper products or whatever it is they do, and then find someone like yourself and watch your videos. And that's another key thing to YouTube is you can call up a certain person's videos and you can watch them and learn that style to get your style. So like you see this person is calm, they're not panicky, they're not talking too fast. Try to do it just comes down to it's awful easy for someone to say just be natural because you have all these cameras and all these lights on you.
Right.
But it is just come down to being calm and be natural. And the TV part is not a huge part of it when you're doing craft TV because it's like how good are you as a sewer, as a knitter, as a quilter. But it just comes down to you talking to the camera as if it's one of your students. You talk to them nice and slow and calmly, and you have a good time. It's just about having a good time doing it. That's all.
I think even what you said about watching videos, that helped me so much because I couldn't even watch my first few because I didn't like watching myself on camera.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah, and then I would because I wanted to see because people would say, will you slow down or will you? I do talk fast. I try to talk a little slower, but I got to get a lot taken care of in 4 minutes.
Sorry. Yeah.
And then you also notice, I think one of the biggest things that changed on for myself was at the beginning, I'd say, hey, look at this. And I'm putting my hands up here so you can look at this. And then I would be over here before the camera guy could even get there. And you realize that you're working as a team, that your brain is all the people around you. And
Exactly. It comes down to you have to be you have a certain time limitation that you're in, but you have to be deliberate, but also panicked all at the same time. That's why it's not exactly easy your first few times out, but you have to put the piece of art on the table, and then you give it a beat, like, and take a look at this. Okay, but you just get it, like, we have to see it, and you're thinking, that you've shown it, but it comes down to when you have actions, you just be deliberate about your actions, and you don't have to be super slow, but you have to be just deliberate. And it's a skill you learn and you get better at as you do it. That's all. You're
good at cutting out the bad parts. Even like when I've had stuff flying off the table, I usually keep rolling. Who cares?
We have a lot of bad parts, and and I was telling you earlier how you give as you get better at it, I give you other skills to do that I think that maybe not everyone can do. You're one of those people who can talk to a camera and then switch to a camera and switch to. A lot of people can't do it. A lot of people don't understand. I mean, because it's scary. I'm sure I probably can't do it, but certain people have a little bit of a skill, and that's why you watch Angela Wolf if you want to get better. Yes,
it came with practice. That's
well,
sure.
Right.
And I got a long ways to go, but it came with.
Right.
Do you remember this? I shortly, maybe about 4 years into the show, I went and taped some DVDs. I think with Threads magazine, and they taped it very differently. Everything is you have to tape twice and talk. It's not live like I'm used to. I like live. Yes. I'm terrible at reading a script. I mean, that's where I'm not my forte. And we're taping, and I kept stopping, and finally you're like, "What are you doing? Why do you keep stopping?"
Yeah, because a lot of people say that to us. They're like, "Okay, do I stop?" I'm like, "Never stop." I'll tell you what to stop. It's go. Just keep going. We'll figure it out. Because we have a lot to do. Like you said, that's why you talk fast. We have a lot to do.
Right. And that is the thing, is I think a lot of people don't realize that there are time spans. It's not that we're trying to only give you a portion of information. If there's 3 guests on that show, it has to be split into that time. Plus you have the advertising for the people who, for your sponsors, things like that. It's a lot to put in 30 minutes.
Right. Oh, yeah. So you've got to, kind of condense and edit, something that might have taken you 30 minutes down to 10, but everybody we have you're not going to be on the show unless you can do that, and that's what we get. We get a lot of people who know how to talk and act and do quickly, so that's the key to that show.
And that's awesome. And Joanne's on here too. So Joanne, you do an awesome job.
Yes.
I did see Rhonda just wrote that they feel like I'm talking to them like they're my friend. Well, you guys are my friends. And there'd be times where I get home after doing a Facebook Live like this, and Wynn's like, "Do you want to go out?" I'm like, "No, I've already hung out with my friends all day." But you haven't seen a person. I've seen thousands.
You're right. They're watching me.
We're having a great time. Well, Mike,
yeah.
I thank you again. I thank you for all that you've taught me for all these years. I'm honored to have you on the show. I was so excited you could come on, because I always talk about you. Mike has the coolest shoes, by the way. That's like the story thing. I got to check out Mike's shoes. So
I got winter ones on today, so it's not a big deal. So I'm not going to.
Okay. Hey, Mike, I'm going to outdo you today. I've got my shoes on today. I had to take my boots off. I was going to get snow everywhere.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's see. Okay, so it's like a weight thing. I don't know. It's
I like those.
See through it and stuff. And
very cool.
And I had a valet down in Florida stop me and ask me where I got them. So
so they got to be cool, right?
Yeah, my wife was like, "Well, you made this guy's day."
That's awesome.
She tipped them, I think, for that.
Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing you next week, and I know everybody that's coming on to tape is looking forward to seeing you. And again, thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for all that you've taught me, and I hope for another 20 years.
All right, well, thanks for having me, and try to stay warm up there in the Great White North.
So everyone, give Mike the heart emoji for sharing this time with us, the knowledge, and you'll probably be seeing him briefly next week, because on my live show on Wednesday for Beyond Behind the Scenes, we're going to be having lunch. So
we'll be a semi-regular on this show. So
yeah, you're going to be the regular. So everyone's saying hey. Joanne says hey. Mike, see you next week. Rhonda says hey. So thank you again for coming on, and I will forward any great messages. Well, there's a ton, so you might want to go back and read them. I tried to bring them up on the screen, but there's too many. They love you.
All right. I'll see you. I'll see you next week.
Bye, Mike. wrong one. Sorry. So, okay, that is awesome. I had to tell you, Mike is one of my favorite people when I worked there. From the very beginning, when I first met him, we just always hit it off. And there are so many other people on that set, as I mentioned, the cameramen, things like that. Kathy, who couldn't be on, she had to take her dad somewhere today. So it's just a lot of fun, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that when they watch the TV show that, hey, there's more going on here than just a few people showing up. And it's not like a take one, take two. There might be a take three because you screwed up, but you really have to tape it all in one with all of that stuff going on. So it's pretty cool. I'm very fortunate to have this. I'm very excited about it. And I definitely thank Brother for sponsoring it, because that's how I started working with Brother as well. So speaking of Brother, I see I'm not hanging up on you guys yet, although many of you are saying thank you, Mike. Thank you guys for giving him the emojis. He's just the best. So let me bring you up here for a quick sec about what's going on for Brother. In case you didn't know, they have some great Valentine things on their blog. So I was scrolling through here, and there's a ton of new things since I talked to you a couple weeks ago. So here we have, let's see if I can make this bigger and me smaller. Wrong one. There we go. Okay, so on here, for those of you that have asked how to insert clear elastic, I have a video tip on here. This is blog.brothersews.com. I'll put that up here. Have you ever tried typing with one of these things? This is like such a pain. I should be getting it off soon, though. It turns out I just punctured a nerve or whatever, but it's going to heal. So thankfully, that would be terrible, right? All right, let's see. On here as well, a Peekaboo project pouch. This is so cute. This is with Mr. Domestic did this one. He inserts his zipper just like I do, which I just love. But it's a super cute project if you're looking for something fun. Then I have, there's a quick tip by Joanne on using a twin needle. Okay, this scarf is one of my favorites. I'm going to do this because I think it would be a great gift. This is Laura. Laura has the best photos. She was on here, remember, about a month ago? She's just fantastic. So she shows you how to make the hat, and she shows you how to embroider the scarf. What a great idea. In fact, I need to pull my scarves out of the closet right now because it's freezing. I always say my Uber driver took me to work, AKA win. All right, what else do we have? Joanne has I love you with hearts and flowers. This is really cute. I love this, Joanne. In fact, I was so excited. Wynn bought me roses this week, and a whole dozen. For those of you that don't know the whole story, he buys as many roses as the amount of days that I'm going to be in town. So I got a whole week's worth. But this is really cute, Joanne. And she does a good job showing you the details of what to use with the software and how to do that. So there's a project for you. Very cute, Joanne. And I think I saw two more. Really. Okay, so this is one. These hats you can buy for just like $1 or $2, maybe not even, at the discount stores. I made this. This is a design that's built into the luminaire, and the big key on this one is when you have one of these hats, they're going to stretch to go over your head, right? So if you don't stretch it a little bit to put your embroidery, you're going to put it on your head, and then the whole hat's stretched except for your embroidery, and it looks goofy. You've heard me talk about that about my one T-shirt that I had. This is it. So there's a tutorial for how to embellish a ski hat. I thought that would be perfect for Valentine's because it's pink. Of course, a cat because I love cats, even though I don't have one at this moment. And then the last new one, there's a lot of new stuff this week. This is a Mickey Minnie True Love pillow, and this is so cute for Valentine's. Let's see, who did this one? Joanne did this one. Very cute. That Minnie and Mickey standing in the back is adorable. Joanne, I have to ask, I see you on here. Joanne, that Minnie and Mickey in the back, is that a new design or did you get that on, where did you get that? I'm just curious because that is so cute. Oh, it probably says. There it is. Look at how adorable that is. Let me make myself small. That is precious, and I love the colors. I love the purple and the black and the gray. Super, super cute. So I'm trying to see if this was on iBroidery. It is on iBroidery. The Mickey and Minnie Sporty Love. So that is perfect. I think I need to do that for my nieces. They're going to love that. So those are all on blog.brothersews.com. That is your update there. And then lastly today, so many of you have asked me many times, please, please, please show me how to get the double cover stitch started. I've showed it many times, so if you've seen it, you can log off. If you haven't, I'm going to show you right now. I have it set up behind me. We'll see how technology goes. But the big thing about the double cover stitch is that it's just like a cover stitch where you're stitching along 2 or 3 needles. We know cover stitch, we use it on knits. I have it on my top here. Let's see. You might be able to see that. Oh, I doubt it, but there's 2 rows of stitching. The back side looks like this. And the key is that it stretches when you put the shirt on and things like that, or whatever you're putting on. A twin needle looks the same and does a similar process of hemming, but the cover stitch hems it and then stretches it, and it's easy to use. But a lot of you have asked me questions about that. So, okay, before I get on there, Yvette says too cute, the twins. Yes, I think the twins will love that. I totally agree. And Joanne says about those designs, that's what I wanted to pull up. There are a whole group of those designs, newish from iBroidery. Perfect, perfect. All right, so you ready to go to the cover stitch machine? So I've already started it as a cover, like I have it threaded with a 2-thread narrow. And that was, some people ask, what can you do on there? So let me just explain. Similar to an overlock serger, which is different than the cover stitch, but similar. The cover stitch, you have 3 needles. Just picture like this, right? You have 3 needles and a looper. Now with the double cover stitch, you have all those. I look like scientist. 3 needles, a looper, and then 1 thread that goes over the top. The tricky part is getting that thread started. So you can have 2 needles in the wide position and take out the middle needle. You can have 2 next to each other for a narrow cover stitch, or you can have 3 needles, which will be a triple cover stitch. All right, those are your options. Very simple. I'm going to bring you over here and just make sure. All right, guys. Come on over. Don't get seasick on the way, all right? Let's see if I can bring you over here. I try to hide some of my secret projects for It's So Easy, but I don't think you'll see anything anyways from here. All right, can you see okay from, bring you down here. Give me a heart emoji or say, yes, I can see, so I can see that you can see. You can see this okay? I could probably make you a little bit lower or move this back a little bit. Let's see. There you go. Is that better? Okay, perfect. So what I have here, and I've already threaded this with a 2-thread narrow, if you can see that. I'm double checking that you can see because I'm kind of at a weird angle. How about, hold on. Is that better? There we go. Okay, I can see you guys saying, yes, that's better. So this has 2 stitches on the one side and the cover stitch on the back side. So I'm just going to stitch for a minute so you can see what that looks like. So this is just, this would be even on a regular cover stitch machine. All right, looks really good. So here are a couple tips for you on this double cover stitch. And this is really important. There's 2 new things on this machine that, see this here? I'm going to just snap this out. You have this plastic part. This is where your thread is going to loop over. This is for the double cover stitch, okay? So if you're not using that, you can take this off, and you can take this piece off. This just clips right into the back. Here's another, your thread, when you see me wrap it around, it's going to be going right into that area right there. Before you can add that top double cover stitch, you need to start your stitch, which I've already done. So I'm going to put this back in place. And this is really important. Your threads need to go behind that metal part right there. See that metal bar? It needs to go behind that. If these threads are not behind that, this will hit it when it goes back and forth. Okay? And then I'm going to slide this in place. There's just a little clip. You see how easy that is? I have a full video to show you how to do this. how to thread it. But this is just to remind you how to get started. So you've already started your stitch. I can see that it looks great. The back side looks great. How do you get the extra thread in? So I'm going to bring you up here. I have this with blue so you can see it. So it goes through here, through this little clip here, down through the tension, down and over. Make sure I got it in the right spot. There's a piece of metal here. Go around, down right through here. See if I can bring it down just a little bit further. All right, you got it? Rhonda says she wants tips on ending the stitch. Okay, that's what I'm going to help you with. So go through here. Then, let's see, there's a little clip here. And again, for a close-up video of this, you can go on my YouTube channel. I'll share it. But it goes through here, and then there, down around this area, right where that is. Now this is the tricky part. Put your needles in the down position. Wait, actually, take that back. In the up position, I'm going to lift up this presser foot. And this thread here will go right into that little finger I was telling you about. There you go. So it went down into there and around there. There's a lot of theirs going on here, but I don't know the terminology for half this stuff because there really isn't a name. And that's it. So now if I go to stitch, I'll stitch just a little ways. Try not to bring the camera with me. Can you see okay? Usually once I stitch a little ways, I will go back, because there's usually a long thread tail. I will go back and cut that. And let's see if it's on there. Oh, I cut the wrong thread. Don't you love that? Okay, that was not the thread tail. That was the actual thread. So let's do that again. There you go. All right. Here I go. Third time's the charm, right? I have to be honest, this little pinky is getting in my way. All right, let's try that. There we go. Now I can cut this extra piece, okay? Can you see okay? Oops, as I'm tripping. All right, see what happens here? You've got this. Now I want to show you something. When I lift this up, some of you have asked, how do I pull this out, the thread out? If I lift this up, you can't pull this. It's not going to come out. Like a normal cover stitch, you'd be able to pull this out. So here is your trick for this. You cut that top thread, and I usually will do a few more stitches to get that out. Then you can lift up with your needle in the up position. Now, two things. If you're going in the round, looks like my thread broke a little bit, but if you can't pull it out, if you open this cover up, this is my little trick. I don't even know if you're supposed to do this, but it sure works for me. See this little knob right here? That is a tension disc. Make sure your needle is in the up position. Push this in. Just see how that just comes out? And now watch what happens. It comes right off, just like that. And then I usually just put the thread back in place. Make sure it's not caught on anything. And then this flips right back up. Okay, so I definitely can see, hold on, I'm going to bring you back over here. I definitely can see that a close-up video of that would be good, beneficial, because we've talked about how to go in a circle, because a lot of times we're stitching in a full circle. And it's a little hard to see with the webcam. But the idea is you start your stitch, okay? Start it, then you put the upper thread through there, let it start stitching, but you can't just lift up the presser foot and pull. That's the big no-no. Another thing that you might not realize is that this machine, if you kept stitching right off of the fabric, it chain stitches off. So this is not the type that you lift up and pull out. That will break your needle, break your thread, and make you want to pull your hair out. Ask how I know, because when I was testing it right away, I was just so used to on the cover stitch, you lift it up, lift up the presser foot because it releases the tension, pull it out, and you're good. But this one, you can just chain off, or if you're going in a circle, you have to cut that upper thread, do a few more stitches, then lift up, and sometimes it will come out, but if it pulls and you can't pull it at all, just release that tension at the bottom for that looper. Super easy to do. Pull it out, cut your threads. One more thing that I forgot to tell you, I'll do a video, because you can cut those two top threads and give the fabric a little jerk, and they pull to the back side. So, all right, I know what I'll be doing this afternoon. A full tutorial on how to start and end your project with close-up cameras. How's that? And then I get my finger out of the way. But hopefully that helped a little bit for those of you that had a quick question on, I can't get that thread going. You saw me, it took me 3 times. Of course, I'm doing it live and in an awkward position. I'm standing on a stool, but you never know. Okay, so I see a bunch of you, yes, please. Yes, please on the video. I will, and great tip, yes. Oh, Liz says you love the bottom of my top. You could see the bottom of my top? Oh, okay, so this is what it is. This is my ruche tee, and I added, these are all pleats. Oh, probably hard to see on here. Let me step back a little bit. These are all pleats that go across. Let's see, take this down. So it's a knit. I hand dyed it and then sewed a ton of pleats in here and angled them all one direction. I will bring this on the live show tomorrow. So don't forget, we're live tomorrow, Wednesday, for Behind the Scenes Live at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be drawing a lucky winner from last 2 weeks. So, okay, one more quick thing I want to show you guys. Gertrude, what'd you do to your finger? It was a really stupid thing. I was packing, and I think I have found the culprit. I slid it in the back of my husband's car like this, and I jumped out of my skin because something punctured my finger. Well, guess what I found in the back of his car yesterday? 2 sewing machine needles that were embedded in the carpet sticking out. So I have a feeling I went like this and back, and yeah, not so good, but it'll heal quickly, thankfully. All right, I have one more thing for you guys, just so you know, for Brother. Again, Brother sponsors this show, which is awesome. I am a brand ambassador for them, so that's why we feature a lot of the things on Brother. But there is still this financing available. If you look on the blog over here to the right, Brother at your side, view details. And let's see, there's one more thing here. I think it's on their Facebook page. Let's see. Yes. They have a section. Many of you have asked, I want to go to Brother events. How do I even know where they are? Many of you bought the Luminaire. You want to know. So if you go to the Brother Sews Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Brother Sews, National Sewing Month. Oh, who doesn't love that? But here, there's a ton of different videos. Oh gosh, that looks like my sewing room. But oh, we're live on there. So if you go through here, they have an events page, and if you click on events, here is a whole entire list of events. We're talking all over the United States. Ruthie's in Florida. She is so sweet. And let's see, we've got Sew Time, Anaheim, California, Ontario, California, Galesburg, Illinois. I mean, everywhere. So wherever you live, you can scroll through here, and there might be a class on the Luminaire, Embroidery Garden. Oh, wait. Reen, are you going to Bemidji, Minnesota? Oh, my gosh. Oh, that was in the past. Yeah, I've been up there once. It's kind of cold. I bet it's really cold now. Laura's Sewing and Quilt Shop. That's where I just came from. There's a ton of places, though, you can go. And if you scroll through here, you can find maybe your favorite store or what type of topic that you want to learn. So that is your tip for if you're looking for a great event. Reen has a ton of events on here. As you know, we're both good friends. We met each other at a Brother event. Hello. Oh, hey, Wynn's back. Everyone says hi. I heard the door, and I never know if it's like the keys left in there. Who knows comes by. So, well, guys, that's about it for today. Wynn says hi. He's out there snowing. How is the weather? Perfect. Freezing. Bye, you guys. See you tomorrow. 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, Behind the Scenes Live. I've got something fun for you, and I will work on a close-up video how to start and end your stitch on the round with the double cover stitch, all right? Liz says hi, Win. You guys have a wonderful day. Stay warm. If I don't show up live tomorrow, it means I'm stuck in a snowbank. That's all I can say. But I would stay out if you're out of this weather, if you're around here, because they said you could freeze in like just a very few minutes. I freeze anyways. Hey, Joanne, thanks for coming on. See you next week, which will be very fun. I don't know if I'll see you at It's So Easy, but we'll both be there. So, all right, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave your comments. Love to hear from you. And Mike, thanks again for joining us. It's So Easy TV and Brother Sews. What a great combo, right? See you guys.